So once the harness gets here, I lay it out. I do need you guys to send this right here. This is the converter clip harness. And then I supply the AP1 or AP2 clips depending on which harness you want. And this is all you have to send me. You just pull out your stock cluster harness, which is pretty simple. I mean, these things come out really easy. You just disconnect the fuse box. You can disconnect dimmer switch, defroster, another one from the fuse box, cluster clips, hazard switch, clock, of course, cigarette lighter and radio harness. So once you remove all that, put it in a box. Send me your you don't have to send me the converter. You could just send me the clip harness, and that's it. And I'll do all the magic here. There's two different styles of converters. There's the old one, which came with the big white one, big white clip, but they still have the same colors. They're still rocking two browns, blue and white, red and black, gray and orange. Now if you're ordering the new style, you're going to be getting this little micro clip right here. They just moved the last two wires over, but still same colors, two browns, blue and white, red and black. You need to make sure you hook up the speedo clip back to the actual speedo wire for the ECU. This one tells the ECU what's being converted, what speed you're doing. If you don't, what happens is if you're running an OBD1 jumper on this EF harness, you end up not letting the computer see the speed. Now, if you're OBD1 with a custom harness that goes straight to the ECU, you don't have to worry about this, but a lot of people run jumpers, so you're going to need to make sure you hook up the speedo wire to this. So on my harnesses, the actual speedo clip is integrated in the cluster harness. So this will go into the engine bay. You'll plug to the speedo clip. You'll ground this out at the thermostat, and then you have speed. You'll be able to actually hook up direct connect. You don't have to worry about wiring nothing. I've already done everything for you. So this is actually makes life so much easier. So you don't have to worry about pulling power from some other source to power the speedo, or you don't have to worry about tapping into any grounds because I already just grounded it for you. This is actually perfect length. You can actually tuck it pretty nice if you want. Blue wire is going to be for speed. It doesn't matter how you wire it up color wise, as long as you know what is what. I know this white wire goes to speedo on the AP2 cluster because I built this harness, so you can do whatever you want. So what I like to do is I like to lay them like this, side by side. Power this up while I do this, and I'll cut it right here. We'll go right here with it. Leave a little slack so it could bend, and we'll leave this one right here. Alright, make sure you put a heat shrink tube on it. Remember, this is for the speedo input. So the blue wire from the converter runs to the cluster. Now, I'm using mil-spec wire, and they supply you with mil-spec wire, so it's going to be a really nice solder. But if you're using junkyard pigtails, anything like that, you make sure you clean the wire really good, because it won't get a good solder. It's in between so you don't burn it. Lay down a nice little fresh bead real quick. Look how fast mil-spec wire solders. So nice. I love it. Clean. every time. Now, I use a little bit of black tape after I solder it. When I shrink tube it, no excess wire from twisting it together will poke through and cause some weird little mishap. Tape on there like that. Pull this over, get yourself some flame, melt that baby real quick, not too much, pull it out a little bit, and there you go. So the speedo part's done. Signal coming from the converter to the cluster, blue wire. Now next we'll do coolant temp. So coolant temp from the cluster this way is this wire right here. How do I know? Because I made this harness. I already know that. So yellow is fuel. So yellow with green for me, I always make it coolant temp. There's a little bit of slack left. You can actually, since I stripped the wire, I accidentally pulled it too tight. So you can come back right here, pull it back just a little bit. There you go. You got your slack back. Strip this baby back. Heat shrink tube on it. Open the wire up. Get a nice solder on there. Now, orange wire from the converter goes to cluster. So we're gonna lay it out right here. I want the solder to be in the same spot, so when I black tape them together, we don't have to worry about them separating or getting damaged. So we'll put that baby right there. Send that little guy through there, and twist it. There you go. That's it. That one's done. Get a little piece of black tape. Now on the fuel side, this is where you don't have to really worry about being 100% which one's which, but the brown wire is going to fuel. You can mix these up, it doesn't matter. The converter will do everything else. So this one is not as important as these two right here. These two have to go this way. Orange has to go to cluster. Blue has to go to cluster for speedo. Brown, it's more forgiving, so you always do this one last. Less pressure. We'll do it right here. Strip. Strip. Heat shrink tubing. Don't forget it. You'll hurt yourself if you do forget it. Make sure you get a nice tight lock on it. Just don't rely on solder because these wires are very thin. If you rely on just solder to hold these babies, you're gonna have weak points and it's gonna break and you're gonna be thinking your converter's broken. It's just weak connection. So you can twist them like this and you can pull on it and look, it's tight. You don't really need solder, but we're using the solder just to lock it so it won't back off. That one's done. Cluster side's done. Now we just do the chassis side. These wires coming from the fuse box. Now you're going to have yellow wire with 2 silver dots and a white tracer. That's going to be your fuel gauge input. Alright, now this white wire right here, this is coming from my speedo clip. This is going to be the signal coming back here. This actually just needs to go to the white wire on the converter plus the chassis side clip. So these 3 wires need to be put together. I'm going to save these for last so that I can get the make sure I get the perfect slack for those babies. But next I'll do fuel. Since we already have fuel, fuel is not that important. You can't mix it up. Brown to brown. Try to put it like this, bend it back a little bit. Try to put the solder like right here so they're not all stacked up on each other. So we can do that right there. Alright, just need some more heat shrink tubing. Gotta go out there and go outside and get some real quick, but yeah, the instructions that K-Tune gives you, they're pretty clear, but I always spend so much time explaining this part to people online. I'm just making a little video just to show people, so I can just send them the link and it'll be easier. Most people can't figure it out. They end up thinking the converter's bad or something wrong with the converter when it's just a wiring issue. So they usually ship it to me. Anytime someone ships something to me, I always cover return shipping. Just kind of help out. There we go. You just put them like that. Actual temp gauge from your harness, whatever harness you have, it's going to come through this wire right here. So we're going to need to hook it up to the gray wire to the converter, so the converter can change it for the cluster. So let's make it go to about right there. Oops. There we go. Mount this baby real quick. Put these together right here. Put all these right there. You want to make sure you give it a perfect amount of slack on this one. Are actually tight. You don't want no slippage, so send this guy in here and lock him down. No more sorry. Now I can explain the harness to you guys. So you don't have to build it this way. This is just the way that I build it. I take my time on this stuff. Every single harness I build, I test, I make sure that everything works properly before I ship it, because I don't want to have you get it, something happen and you have to ship it back. Converter's wired up. Grounded. This guy was in here like this. K-Tune converter. This is for the clock, because AP2 has to have constant power for the clock. So this is the only wire that will plug into the fuse box. And then you have your AP2 clips. You have your ground. Everything else to plug in. And then you run this to your speedo. This right here, if you ship me your harness, I pretty much roll it up when I'm done. This is easy. I usually put it in a bubble wrap, throw it in there, tape this up. It's ready to go. Another happy customer. You got your AP2 clips on here now. Left you some slack so you can pull it out. if you get a jumper, these wires will still have power. A lot of people don't understand that, and this can actually kill your cluster as well too. It'll act like a short as well. The only wire I don't like is this one right here for AP2. AP1, you don't see this. Just AP2, you'll see tapping in for constant power, because there's no constant power on the cluster harness. This is all ignition power.